Hello everyone. Expose and reform your educational system. It is controlled by the elites. This is part 2 of the series. The present educational system does not serve the needs of the students. It prepares them as human resources to be exploited by the vicious economic system. Those who are at the top of the system and are running it will profit from the labor of these human resources of the future, just as they have profited from our labor. We need to understand the problem to find a proper solution. General awareness is part of the solution. We can only reach the solution with combined efforts from all of us. Separation from nature and even from fellow human beings has increased with our dependence on technology. Electronic devices such as TV, computer, and mobile phones have reversed our emotional growth, reduced our attention span drastically, and even damaged our physical health. The damage due to lack of physical activity is unequivocally accepted. However, the damage due to electromagnetic radiation is not accepted by corporate funded science, even though the evidences are undeniable. Moreover, our social connections with near and dear ones are getting weaker. Thus, our physiological, emotional, psychological, and social health is being jeopardized by technology. Mobile games are turning our children insensitive and violent. We are being led to an artificial technological world of augmented reality and virtual reality by means of cunning social engineering. We have forgotten to live together as one species. Even our connection with nature has been cut off. This is the situation with the mainstream society. Exceptions are there, but those exceptional people do not thrive and prosper in our society. They are almost always exploited, and it is only their inner world, their contentment and joy de vivre, joy of living, that can keep them happy. Unbridled greed and lust have tainted our value system and behavior. Our moral values have practically been skewed. A bifurcation between ideal moral values and practical behavior has resulted. Our educational system was supposed to instill moral values in the students and also supposed to teach them to recognize and eradicate the vices from their minds. However, we now readily recognize any mistakes committed by others, and others recognize our mistakes too, but no one ever recognizes their own mistakes or the mindset that led to their mistakes. We can only impede others, but we can correct ourselves and help others learn by becoming examples ourselves. When we correct ourselves, our own stance, our own understanding and viewpoints become that much purer and free from bias. Love, affection and gentle care leads to correction and collaboration. Impediments and criticism usually increase aloofness and also fuel competition. Poverty and necessity has made money the focus of our life. Costly healthcare system has made us selfish. All of this are the doings of the elites who own everything thanks to their economic power. They want to keep us divided and to keep our attention diverted. They have hijacked and misused our educational system, our economic system, and even our healthcare system. There is a ploy to create trends and seed or fan desired patterns in the minds of the general population through social engineering. News and entertainment media plays a major role here. Sadly, the educational system starts the process of indoctrination. It works along with other tools of the elites to bend our minds in the direction desired by them. Compassion and love have been stifled in our heart. Instead, we are taught to be cold towards others and obey orders blindly, even when we know that we are impacting a third party by doing so. We may be harming someone else, a third party who could be innocent and even unaware, by blindly following the orders, but we remain apathetic towards them. We shed off our responsibility, saying that we have no choice but to follow orders. Thus, our conscience is being maimed as we are being trained to accept the Nuremberg defense mentality. Nuremberg defense is the famous excuse by many defendants in the Nuremberg trial that they were only carrying out orders from the authorities above them, and thus they were not responsible for the Jewish Holocaust. This reminds us of the collateral damage caused in wars. It is the same mindset operating at an individual micro level. Greater evil has its origins rooted in lesser evil. This has become the cost of our living. The educational system grooms this mindset in us right from our childhood days. It indoctrinates us to obey the higher authorities unquestioningly, with a stunted compassion. Therefore, more emphasis should be given on the unimpeded development of conscience in students. We have been indoctrinated to silence our conscience and accept the law. The society of indoctrinated people and the government, even though all of them, the judicial system, the government, as well as the society, commit many mistakes knowingly. We accept unconscionable decisions from them, even as they remain under the influence of the evil handlers, who are also known as the elite rulers of the society. Institutions and the professions that we have been taught to respect and believe are now under the influence of these global elites. Those of us who remain exceptions to this and raise their voice conscientiously face stiff opposition from the authorities and lag behind in the rat race all their lives, thus killing off conscience from the mainstream society. We have turned it into a hotbed of vices and crimes. Let us sum up and correlate a few points here. Education has the potential to help us live together with peace and prosperity, to create a better world. But it now teaches compliance even with illegitimate decisions and orders. Our minds are trained in such a way that we have no concern for others. Apathy and not empathy has become a prerequisite for success, which is defined in material terms. The educational system instills this apparent virtue of apathy in us from an early age. We see that everyone blames others for mistakes. No one acknowledges and takes the responsibility of their own mistakes. People should try to understand their own mistakes and improve by themselves, psychologically and ethically. This has to be taught. Only then the world will get better. We need responsible people for a thriving civilization. This is why students must learn self observation, self analysis, and self correction techniques. Our rationality is being stunted. Our basic values and emotions, which are the foundation of open minded rational thinking, have become convoluted. An unclear heart full of vices cannot think rationally. However, we have been indirectly taught to be selfish, egocentric, competitive, and jealous in the name of education. This delimits our understanding and vision. We cannot put ourselves in the position of others to feel their pain or problems. We rely on popular opinion, which can be manufactured, instead of logic based on ethics. We have forgotten to live according to the principles of nonviolence and universal brotherhood, in alignment with nature. No common idealism unites us. We are divided and competing against one another. Rote learning has practically been encouraged in this educational system. This hinders the development of the understanding abilities of children. The formative years of the brains, which is up to the age of 8, according to the cognitive development theory by Piaget, have thus been sabotaged to disrupt their thinking process. Children should be taught social skills, moral values, mother tongue, and some fundamental concepts, which will not need to be unlearned later on, till the age of 8. The topics mentioned earlier, namely yoga, meditation, music, drawing, painting, dance, martial arts, and gardening, should also be taught. It makes more sense not to jeopardize the tender brains of young students, as human lifespan has reportedly increased over the years. The syllabuses have been overburdened with much redundant information and misinformation too, on purpose. Evidence below. This evidence, by the way, will be presented in later parts of the video series. We are taught topics dissected into many subjects. The information imparted is reductionist and not holistic. We are not taught to synthesize the information or even think rationally. We are often fed misinformation in the name of education. We have not been taught self dependence. Education should focus on character building and earning skills. This present educational system does none of the above. It has failed us miserably. The third part of the series will explore the wealth distribution pyramid and the income pyramid. We will find out how the economic system has been tweaked in the favor of the elites, and we will also see by and by how the educational system has been tweaked in turn. Be with us as we explore the two systems and connect the dots. Thank you for watching. The first two paragraphs are inspired by Sir Suresh Pratap from Bharat Childcare Foundation, Varanasi. I would also like to acknowledge senior journalist Mr. Kapil Bajaj for his informative article on augmented reality and virtual reality.